The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
It is a numbers game. Dustin Swedelson in for Gil Alexander, riding as always with Kelley, Bydlon here, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. And when you look at the calendar, you see it turn to August. You know football's around the corner, and it's become an annual tradition around here. You know, at Circa, it is time for BetBash. And joining us in studio to talk about, I can't believe we're saying it, BetBash 6.
Wow, yeah.
Is Spanky, you know him, pro sports bettor, host of Be Better Betters, BetBash creator, and on X at Spanky. And he joins us now in studio. When you hear that, the sixth one, take us back to the genesis, when this began, when the idea first formed. Because at first, I'm sure you went, I have a great idea, but we all have great ideas. You never know if it's going to work out and get executed. You've executed this marvelously, man. We're at year number 6 right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Thanks. Yeah, this is, when we go back to the genesis, as you said, Dustin, this was BetBash 1. We took place in Jersey City, and this was at 2021, right at the tail end of COVID. And I myself was just waiting to try to meet people face-to-face, you know what I mean, instead of just doing the whole online thing. And it was kind of needed by everybody. So I said, you know what, let's try this thing out, a sports betting networking party. And it was just a one-night event in Jersey City. Had 220 people show up from all over the world for a one-night event. And it was just, a nice open bar. And we had to be outdoors because of the whole COVID policies. So we were at a rooftop bar. And man, it was just a big hit. And then I knew right then and there's something here. It was kind of a proof of concept thing. And that's when I said, you know what, I got to take this to bigger and better pastures. And that's when I talked to Derek and Matt Metcalf, who was the sportsbook director at the time. And I said, I want to make this a multi-day event and bring it to Vegas. And Derek was all in. I'm
just curious, because you talk about meeting in person, and we lived behind our computers. We lived with all the isolation for so long. And I think a lot of the effects of that were shown in sports betting Twitter, with kind of the animosity and the anger and the way people operated. How much was that motivation for you as part of getting people together to kind of, because I think what I'm seeing when people come out here for this, they start becoming friends on social media when they probably weren't before, and probably thought they didn't like each other before because they didn't know each other.
Exactly. Everybody online is a little bit, more on edge and a little bit, let's just face it, meaner. So to speak. But once you see somebody in person, everybody, lightens up, and, all of a sudden those, the phone Capones, as we call them, and, the trolls, they kind of just, ease up. And then everybody just says, hey, listen, we're all humans. We're all trying. We all love the same thing. We love to bet sports. We love talking about betting sports. We love discussing strategies and angles. And let's get together. And maybe back home, when you have a friend that might not be so much into it, or you might be in a circle of friends that not everybody's into that, here, everybody talks your language, and that's what makes it so special.
And we're on the same team.
Yeah.
It's us against the book.
Yeah.
Stop fighting with each other. We're on the same team here.
Absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons why we have it at Circa, is because, we're trying to make people better bettors. And we're trying to educate sports bettors on how to climb that ladder of sports betting. And you have to be able to do that in a sports book that welcomes all customers. And that if you win, you're not going to get limited. You're not going to get shown the door. And the only joint that that would do that is Circa. So that's why it was a perfect fit.
Yeah, Spanky with us. Year 5 now out here at Circa in Las Vegas. This is what's been, getting to attend it almost every single year for me. I can kind of tell some things that have surprised me of how much it's grown. But is there a certain aspect? Is it maybe some of the talks, some of the just networking? What is it specifically that maybe surprises you the most of how it's grown over the past 5 years?
Honestly, listen, I do 1 or 2 of these shows every year with Gil and you, Kelley, and I don't really market, and I just can't believe, just word of mouth, essentially. We have a couple ads here on VSiN, but for the most part, we don't really market. It's just all spread on word of mouth, and people just know, this is the only conference of its kind where it just focuses on the sports bettor. I've been to conferences with legislators and regulators and operators, and that's all, and everybody's just on a different mindset there. Here, we focus on the bettor. And it's grown because we've had more education involved. We have over 35 unique pieces of content, whether it be live podcasts, educational seminars, expert panels, and then we also know how to have fun. We're talking 4 open bars. the Thursday night Hall of Fame game for the NFL. We have a beautiful watch party at Stadium Swim and over here at the Circa Sportsbook. Beautiful spread that Circa puts out. And then it all gets capped out by the Sports Gambling Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Friday night.
So let's peel back a little bit here, because we have people listening all over the country, SiriusXM, YouTube TV, radio affiliates, the VSiN Watch app, and they're all walks of life. Some of them are new bettors. Some of them are experienced bettors. We also have the pro bettors. When I list off all those types of people, who of that group makes sense to be coming to BetBash?
Every single person, every person BetBash is made for, from the novice to the expert and everybody in between. We have legit billionaires that show up that are the best of the best, and we have guys that are just coming, guys and gals that are just coming in and just getting into sports betting. We have a sports betting 101 seminar that we run every year, and there's always 40, 50. The first year we did, it was 90 people showing up to Sports Betting 101. So that just goes to show you that we try to design the content for every single person that is interested in sports betting. And I think, that it's a testament to the speakers that I'm able to get and that devote their time to come to the conference. It's not easy to be able to, carve out 2 or 3 days to be able to come out to Vegas and speak on this. And I make it a point not to, at least as of now, not to stream any of this content. Of course, if I wanted to maximize profits and maximize revenue, we could stream all this, but we wanted to make this an in-person only type thing. So if you want to hear what these experts have to say, if you want to learn something, you got to be here.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And that's why people come. We have over, I think now the count is 24 different countries represented, and all 50 states represented this year at BetBash.
That's incredible. Yeah, I caught you on Twitter with the all 50 states. I know you were finding one last one, right?
Yeah,
we were able to get that.
Exactly. Oh, did we get Idaho?
We got Idaho.
You're like Howard D now. We're going to take New Hampshire.
Yeah, we got Idaho. We got the potato guy, and then we're good to go.
Oh, man, I love
Somebody actually that writes for Boise State is coming
there you
up.
go.
Yeah.
Well, that works out.
It was really good.
Well, we were talking just before we hit air. The panels are so awesome every single year. I love trying to attend them. Kind of spreading them out a little bit more this year, adding to what you usually do. What are you excited about adding to the schedule this year?
Well, when it comes to education, the panels you're talking about, it's just, we always have legends featured. One of my good buddies passed away just about a month ago, Fats, who's a sports gambler. He's just going to be inducted into the Sports Gambling Hall of Fame. So we're going to have a thing about remembering Fats, where everyone's going to be telling stories about Fats. Fats would come to every BetBash, and he'd roll around in his scooter and stuff, and he was just a happy face to be in. He's just he'll be definitely missed, and I think that's something I'm looking forward to just kind of share stories about my buddy who kind of taught me a lot, and who worked with the best of the best. Was working for Billy Walters back in the 80s and 90s, and worked for several groups, Tigers, Philly Crew, and a lot of different syndicates, and he's really was the pros pro, and I really miss him. It's cancer sucks. What can you say? But
yeah, but he's kind of a testament to the community that you've built through this event, because I would see him on social media interacting with other people that they only met here. The friendship developed here. So it's a really beautiful thing. Spanky is our guest. He is the creator of BetBash, going down starting tomorrow. It's tonight.
Tonight
at Circa. I was just looking at the schedule for all the seminars and whatnot. So what's new this year? Because you guys do so many different things. There's the networking you mentioned, the speed networking. You can meet the legends. Everyone's accessible. You can walk up to anyone, talk to them about anything. And you're trying to teach people here, but also have a little bit of fun. What are some new wrinkles that people can expect?
So today, our new thing, we're going to have a charity, Autism New Jersey, who's a charity, that local charity that I support. They're coming out, and we're going to be doing a dunk tank charity event on Friday afternoon right outside the Circa, right here on Fremont Street. And we're going to, a couple of major sports betting personalities are going to be there. And you're going to try to dunk them and raise money for charity. So I'm pretty proud of that. That's going to be fun. And then just the whole, we're going to have some expert panels that are going to be there. A couple of beautiful hot topic debates, specifically on prediction markets, and the legality of those and how that's, kind of to try to navigate towards what the future holds there. So there'll be some legal analysis on that, which I'm looking forward to. And, we have everything from betting syndicates to the history of sports betting. My friend David Hill is going to be running a seminar on that, talking about, how we came to be at this level, how sports betting has grown to this massive industry that it is, but what happened? How did all that start? And I think that's going to be an interesting talk as well.
Wow, you're going to give back to the community with charity. Everything I see about people who know nothing about the betting community, they say we're doing nothing but bad things out here. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's amazing. Great point. Great point.
I always think it's curious when people who don't know anyone in the betting world, they don't realize what it pays for in states when it's legalized and how it operates and helps these governments and these education systems and whatnot. You're doing an awesome thing, man. I
appreciate it, man.
I can't imagine when it began that you ever thought it'd be this.
Honestly, when you start something, and I don't want to, think that it was going to be this big, but when I start something, I'm not trying to half-ass it and say, okay, we're just going to do this a one-time thing.
Sure.
I really thought this is something that everybody needed.
Yeah.
And it was for selfish reasons. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to grow my network. In the sports betting world, you kind of learn as you scale and as you kind of grow and grow, you realize you can't do this thing alone.
No.
You need friends, you need people, you need different avenues to grow. And I think that's what BetBash is all about, where you might not be good at one thing, but let's just say you need A, B, C, and D. You might be good at A and C, but you need somebody for B and D, and you got to find those people. And when you grow that network and you build that team, synergies are inevitable.
Yeah, by nature, it's an antisocial thing we do here. We spend so much time in front of the computer watching sports. It's good to get some FaceTime. Check it out, BetBash, right now. It is going down tonight at Circa. People can still sign up, right?
Yeah, there's limited tickets still available. It's going to be big. It's going to be over 800 people this year. It's going to be nice.
Come by, see Spanky, hang out, meet some cool people and network. Thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VEASAN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VEASAN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Football season is right around the corner, and just like the players, you need your reps before week one. The Sharp Plays has a free weekly league that lets you practice the same football plays you already study. Props, sides, totals, and combos. Everyone starts with 10,000 chips. Build your stack, climb the leaderboard, and sharpen your reads before the season kicks off. Enter at jointhe.sharps.com or scan the QR code on the screen and use code VEASAN50 for a 50% deposit bonus up to $100. That's jointhe.sharps.com and use promo code VSIN50 right now, today.
Oh, that's a sweet graphic right there.
It's, it pops, man.
It really does. You think that's a Michelle Delgadillo production?
Perhaps. It
might have got it from the outside, too. Might have got it from them.
They may have shown up with it.
They might have done their own work. Great talking to Spanky, man.
Nice guy, man. I've never really talked to him before, I don't think.
Oh, you haven't really?
I think maybe, I don't remember exactly because I was in a whirlwind when I took over Cashing Out a year ago.
Yep.
I think he might have joined me in studio like a year ago, but I was like losing my mind, taking over, not all the way present. I think we may have chatted.
It has been incredible to watch this thing grow over the past few years. And you kind of hit on it, Spanky kind of hit on it. It's a lot of people that are sitting behind computers all day that maybe aren't the most friendly, maybe haven't been the nicest to each other. It cracks me up though every year watching everybody get together out here up at Legacy Club and everybody gets a few drinks in them, and it's like summer camp. All these bettors are together and just having the time of their lives.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At first, I think I mocked it a little bit, just thinking, whatever it is. But I tend to do that with things that I don't understand. And then as I've watched it grow, it's less about like having FOMO for it, but I just appreciate people creating their own community. And I think it's important because this is such an isolationist thing. And look, I'm 41 years old. I'm in my first adult relationship in forever. Because so much of my life was I watch sports year round. I watch sports all day. I'm betting on sports all the time on top of doing shows here. And it's like, you don't find the window for like the real human interaction, not to get all weird on everyone right now. But like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think this event is really a good, healthy thing for people even if it's like the only social thing they do for months.
Sure.
Just to do this. And I do appreciate that I see people on social media that I think probably took shots at each other in the past walk away from this event going, hey, that's my guy, or whatever. Hey, I saw you at BetBash. We were talking about this. You're a cool dude, whatever. Like there's something about that I like.
No, I'm 100% with you. For regular numbers game listeners, Drew Dinsick doing a tennis panel here, Phil Bobbitt doing a NASCAR panel, which we might have to get him on the show at the end of the week. Do we have a NASCAR race this week? Do we have any races this week?
Well, we do have a NASCAR race. What is it? I'll tell you what I know about it. Remember, I worked in NASCAR for 3 years.
I know you did.
Iowa Speedway. I don't know anything about Iowa Speedway. That is a brutal one.
Oh, man. Phil's in town, though. He's going to be doing a panel on NASCAR betting. So, yeah, if you're here, go check it out. And then for everybody else who's not here, it's I think an event to consider in the future for sure.
Oh, no. I think if you're listening to us and you're like, I don't have a circle that I run with, I don't have people to bounce ideas off of, you will meet someone at this event. Mm-hmm. Like you will meet someone at BetBash that you will forever probably keep in touch and be like, hey, I have this bet idea. What do you think about it? And they'll either co-sign it, they'll tell you why to be trepidatious. It's a lot of what like we do on the network. Mm-hmm. Half of what we do is like, I like this bet. Let me run it by Kelley. Let me run it by JVT. Yep. And then if they co-sign it, you feel better. If they poke holes through it, you start going, well, I'm probably still going to bet it because I like it, but I probably don't go as hard as I initially was going to do.
I didn't see it that way, right? That's a good point. I didn't really think about.
It's something I'm trying to work on this year. I'm super stubborn. And like, if I would love to poll people at this event, especially like the pro bettors, if you were going to evaluate yourself as a bettor, what are your biggest issues? Because my number one, I can tell you, is ego. I'm an ego bettor. I want credit. I want to show it. I want to be different. I want to be unique. That's why I probably ultimately say on the air things like I think John Mateer is better than Arch Manning right now. Mm-hmm. I partially believe it's true, but like it's a difficult thing to prove. Mm-hmm. But I think that is my biggest issue as a bettor, is a lot of my stuff comes from ego. And I don't like to follow someone and tail someone else's bet because I ultimately want the credit, which is like the worst way to operate.
I don't know. See, I think you're thinking about that right and wrong. Like I understand if it's costing yourself.
Because I want to do the work myself.
Right.
So I want the credit myself.
Yeah, but screw the credit part. I think the work part is the right way to think about it. Sure. That's where just like, and look, I think everybody probably is going to learn this the hard way at some point, and maybe they need to. I know I was one of those people that needed to, but you get a lot more comfortable. You get a lot more proud of your winning and a lot more comfortable with your losing when all the handicapping is coming from yourself, when you're doing it yourself.
No. I don't. I don't like betting other people's bets because I'd rather lose on my own.
I'd rather lose on my own.
Because guess what? I'm pretty good at it.
Right. Now, can we improve the way that we're betting by talking to others, by kicking around ideas? 100%.
Yes, that's why I like doing. That's why I've enjoyed my summer, honestly, because I get to do
talking to different people
with everyone. So it's like, oh, Kelley sees this way, Mitch sees it this way,
right,
Paulie this way, Tim this. So it becomes this thing at the end of it where I'm like, you know what? I can kind of factor in what we all think. And again, it's like Captain Planet, right? Like
that's right.
Earth, wind, fire, water. When we come together, we are profitable sports bettors. All right, speaking of, we should do a little baseball here real quickly. Trade deadline's coming on, but some things coming off of the action on Monday night that I think is worth noting. One, your Cy Young favorite in Cam Schlittler got banged around. Did you see this Cardinals-Yankees game?
Yes, I did.
Which I had the under 8 in.
that was a loser.
It was 13-7, St. Louis. So first of all, the Yankees scored 4 runs in the 7th to take the lead. They then gave up 7th in the 8th inning. But to me, the story is what went down with Cam Schlittler. He's minus 130 for AL Cy Young right now. 3 innings, 4 earned, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts. This was always my concern with Schlittler. He still warrants being the favorite for Cy Young. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I'm just wondering if we should, bookmark this for later. Is this where things start to fall apart for Schlittler? Because if you go back and look at this kid's numbers, and he's fantastic, he is very young into his career, into his major league career, made his debut a year ago. If you go back at the minor league numbers here, Kelley, he's never thrown 200 innings. Obviously, the minor league season isn't that long. His max is 2024 when he completed 120 2/3 innings. We're at a point in the season right now for this kid who's been ultra dominant, where he's thrown 139 2/3, 2.26 ERA, a 2.26 ERA for him, 171 strikeouts, and 139 2/3 innings pitched. I have concerns that he maybe fade a little bit down the stretch here because he's never been at this point ever in his career.
Yeah, look, that's something that people have brought up, right? Whether it's him, whether it's Miz too, right? We brought that up. And watch out down the stretch for these guys with how they pitch. Haven't really been in these situations before. It's gonna be. I mean, if you had bet this right now, Cy Young, Schlittler or Cease, or are you going out further down?
No, with everything I've been wrong about Schlittler all year until this moment. Is this an isolated incident against the St. Louis Cardinals offense that doesn't really strike out a lot? Mm-hmm. Although Schlittler's had strikeout performances against teams that don't strike out a lot. I am concerned that this is the start of it, but is there enough season left for him to really lose this award? And by the way, Dylan Cease, the volatility of betting on him, believe me, I've had him in years past. It is very reminiscent of Blake Snell when he won Cy Young a few years ago in the National League. Every time you turn on the game, there's runners on first and second. He's walked one of them. A ball fell in there. Right. And you're just one hit away from it getting blown up.
Right.
He's been amazing. He's also pitching deeper in the games than he did in the past. Yeah. So I'll give him credit. He hasn't really hit that volatility yet, but you kind of always know in the back of your mind it's always coming. The problem is, outside of them, I can't make a compelling case deeper down the board. I have Gavin Williams 40-1. He's 65-1. Rasmussen's intriguing at 22-1. I don't hate that, but that's about it. Sonny Gray, we all started convincing ourselves he was in the mix, then he got knocked back down to earth. I just don't see someone who makes sense. I think Schlittler still ends up winning this award. Cease is going to put it up against him till the very end because it does appear when you look at Cease, they're letting him go deep into games. I think that the Blue Jays want him to win the award.
Well, I mean, we talk about this in other sports sometimes. I guess it is something to play for in a season that is kind of lost right now.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's your motivation every 5 days is that that they're going to go on some sort of run here.
By the way, random Kelley baseball thought. Sonny Gray feels like he's been pitching for about 27 years now.
It's longer than I think most people would think, but because you're not a baseball follower, year in and year out.
Just because he had that early success in his career, right?
Well, dude, he made his debut in 2013.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while then. 13 years. Yeah, he's not crazy then.
But he's 36 years old. Think about that compared to other sports where you're going to college, right?
Oh, think about some of these college football quarterbacks we were just talking about. Yeah.
36 years old. Dude, he's got 2-3 more years of being solid. And if he wants maybe a fourth year.
What a life. What a life. Sometimes we just talk about, sometimes we focus on the bads of being a pro athlete. My God, man, you just got to pitch for that long, be a professional baseball player, all the money that comes with it. Whew.
That's why you got to play baseball. All these people going towards football and basketball where there's so much competition. And also you have to be physically gifted as an athlete. Trust me. Sonny Gray isn't physically, no offense to him, not that physically gifted as an athlete. All right, later on this hour, best bets in Major League Baseball. I have a bunch of strikeout prop unders that I like. But when we return, the interception market in the NFL, Kelley and I examine it together every year. Who are the names that jump out? And I'll give you the data from recent players to do this and lead the league in INTs. That's forthcoming on a numbers game.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Yeah, buddy, it is a numbers game. I'm Dustin Swedelson. He is Kelley Bydlon. We are here for the next 30 minutes still on the program. We've had a lot of fun conversations. Spanky talking about BetBash earlier this hour. Drew Dinsick, hour previously. We examined the history of the Heisman Trophy market. We also shared our top 5 head coach quarterback combinations from different perspectives that we like to bet on week in and week out in the National Football League. You miss those conversations, you can always go back, download the program wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm just checking out the rest of the BetBash schedule. The panels are impressive. I am very much looking forward to some of these.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what it's become. I keep coming back to. I got to give Spanky a lot of credit because this could have been anything. He's made this a very legitimate event where if you're just looking to learn a little bit more, opportunities out there for you. Mm-hmm. I think so many people go into betting, they go, well, how do I get better? What do I do differently? These are the people you should be talking to.
We've got Chris Felica, he'll be in town. He'll be with Jeff Schwartz and Sam Panayotovich, our old friend, doing a Bear Bets pod. Ooh. That'll be going on. Joe Pete on how baseball betting has changed in the last 15 years. Roxy Roxborough on at the same time as him.
Legend.
Whew, big names.
Yeah. I mean, you get to meet people who literally bet professionally for a living. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing. So in case you missed it earlier today, a couple of news out of the NFL that are worth bringing back up. One, Bydlon Robinson. He's the highest paid running back in the NFL right now. The Falcons and Robinson agreeing to an extension where he's going to make bank for the next few years here. This guy, the last 3 seasons, 805 carries, 3,900 rush yards, 1,700 receiving yards, 34 total touchdowns. He has been extended, worth up to $75 million, highest paid running back in the league, gets $51 million guaranteed, including $37 million as a signing bonus. Then just about an hour ago, the Baltimore Ravens, they G'd up Zay Flowers, their wide receiver. He gets a $140 million extension over 4 years, $108 million guaranteed, which I get that they had to do it, but Kelley and I had the same reaction. That's a lot of money for Zay Flowers. It's a lot of money for a 5'9" receiver coming off 1,200 yards. He's good. He's not special. And he's the highest paid receiver in the league now.
This is where I need Danny Higgins, but Danny Higgins, who's also been out for about a week.
Well, he's not the highest paid player in the receiver in the league, is he? No.
He's fourth, right?
Fourth.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
That's what we went through. I almost need Danny here to give me the pro Raven side of this. This is just assembling the Avengers to go win. God, well, yeah, that makes him sound more powerful. Well, he's like Hawkeye.
Yeah. Hawkeye's the most boring of the Avengers.
That's my point.
I get what you're saying now. I think the thing from Baltimore's perspective is we're all in on this year,
right? And
it seems like a lot of money on the outside, but if we pay our guys on the inside, you're going to get the best out of Zay Flowers. It's not always a guarantee. He can get hurt. Mm-hmm. He can have a down year. But you don't want that hanging over the team that he is due for a contract and you haven't given him one yet. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what's going on in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I don't anticipate Lamar Jackson to be one of the quarterbacks we're thinking about to lead the league in interceptions, but Kelley and I do this every year together. We look at this market because I think it's always fun to take some shots here. I went back to 2018 to look at some data just to see if anything jumped out here. Now, the transition from 16 to 17 games happens in that span from 18 to 25. We've had multiple years where we have a couple guys tied for the league lead in interceptions. So when I extrapolate the data here, as we go back and look, Geno Smith led the league in picks a year ago. Did so in 15 games on a 3-14 team, had 17 interceptions. Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield tied the year before that. Sam Howell in 2023. Dak Prescott in 2022 tied with Davis Mills. They had 15 apiece. In 2021, you had Matthew Stafford and Trevor Lawrence, both tied with 17. Carson Wentz tied with Drew Lock back in 2020. Jameis Winston's a huge outlier. He had 30 back in 2019.
Yeah. 30-30 season, baby. That's like the most incredible football season I've ever seen.
Guys, do we have a graphic on this?
Jameis is awesome.
And then Ben Roethlisberger in 2018 led the league with 16 interceptions. So I wanted to see if there's any common denominators, just anything we could pull out of that. So here's what I found. One, you don't have to be on a bad team. 4 times the interception leader came off a team over 500. That kind of shocked me. But think about it. Just because you're on a good team, you could still be throwing and taking shots and turning it over. But if you counter it with more touchdowns than interceptions, everything's fine in the world.
Yeah, Sam Darnold last year, right?
Yeah.
The turnovers in total.
He was right on the edge. He had 14 last year. And that was
14 picks, right?
14 picks.
He had 20 turnovers total, led the NFL.
Yes. Then looking at more of the data, 7 of the 12 were on teams with 5 wins or fewer. So it will likely be on a losing team, but that doesn't mean it's a lock. Average interceptions about 17.5. 4 players did it in their first 2 seasons. Lawrence, Locke, Mills, and Howell all had were interception leaders in their first 2 seasons. 4 were also years 5 through 7. Wentz, Jameis, Dak, and Mayfield. And 4 were also in years 12 to 15. Geno, Cousins, Stafford, Big Ben. I didn't anticipate it working out that way, but literally.
That's interesting.
4 in the first 2, 4 years 5 through 7, 4 years 12 through 15. That tells me experience is irrelevant in looking at this market.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Because the initial thought is young guys.
Well, I would say the mid-range having as many as it does surprises me, right? Because I think either young guys, right, young quarterbacks still learning the game, throwing the ball into sketchy situations, or old gunslingers, right? Yes. Guys that you know are going to push the ball down. Joe Flacco, right?
Who have like the hubris to believe they're still the player they used to be, so they try to fit the ball in the windows that they can't anymore.
Big arms, they believe they can fit that anywhere.
Okay, I have 4 names I like. Now, initially when I started thinking about this, there's one name that I thought about, but I ultimately crossed off the list here, Kelley.
Okay.
Malik Willis to lead the league in interceptions at 14-1. Bad team, losing, throwing from behind. He's never really thrown the ball a lot, and I think he's going to have to, and the wide receiver options are bad. Dotson, Tutu Atwell, Bell, the rookie out of Louisville. But in the end, I think they're going to condense the game so much with the run. I don't think he will have enough attempts to actually throw the most interceptions.
I don't have him on my list either for the exact same reasons as you. I think the Dolphins, whether it's him, whether it's HN, we know they're going to look to run. Now, later in the game, he's going to have to throw. Still, I'm with you. I don't think it's worth it at 14-1 for me.
So give me the first name that really jumped out to you that you like.
Look, I'm a little surprised that Brock Purdy and Geno Smith are co-favorites here. I think Geno Smith should absolutely be the favorite in this market. It's not just the interceptions last year. It's what we've seen from Geno over the course of his career.
Well, who are they turning to? Cade Klubnik? Aaron Glenn has to show improvement this year to keep his job.
Right.
So he has to ride with Geno Smith.
Okay. I was wondering where you're going with that.
So he can't afford that.
The only question that's the biggest thing I think with this. If you're looking at bad teams, right? What are the chances the quarterback that I'm looking at betting on is going to get benched? Because you can't be betting into a situation like that. They're not going to Cade Klubnik anytime soon, right? That is not in the Jets' plan this season.
Yeah, no. I think Geno Smith makes a lot of sense. I just don't want to go that short in the board.
No, me either.
So do you have a guy that you love? Because I have four that I have one that I love, and then three that I like.
Okay, so one that I don't love any this year. I don't think I'm going to get to a bet on anybody.
Oh, I'll convince you.
One at price that jumped out to me, Baker Mayfield 15-1. He led the NFL in turnover-worthy plays last season, though, even though he did not finish with the most interceptions. He had 28 turnover-worthy plays, threw the ball into a lot of trouble. You do not have Mike Evans there anymore. Yep. We've talked about that throughout the show. New OC, whatever frustration that Baker's going to be playing through.
He was one off last year. He had 16 last year.
Oh, there you go. That is... I think Baker Mayfield very live. I mean, we know he's a gunslinger quarterback. I think he's going to have to be carrying this Tampa Bay team from behind in games and for a lot of the season. I think Mayfield at 15-1 is a good look.
Of my four, he's number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
All right. You want my 3?
What you got?
Number 3, Sam Darnold. Clint Kubiak's gone. Okay.
Sure.
New OC Brian Fleury takes over. I don't know much about him, and that should scare everyone about Sam Darnold this year. And I'm a Sam Darnold truther. I loved him with Minnesota. I actually called him comeback player of the year that year. It didn't happen, but he should have won the award. I don't know how this goes right now. For a guy who's been so turnover prone, he still had 14 last year, which was like a perfect season for him. He's 18-1. I think he makes some sense. Number 2, and also he's not going to get benched.
Right.
He's going to play the whole season.
I think your market being slightly off on that, I think is true. 18-1, it feels long.
Number 2 is Bryce Young. 20-1. I just don't trust him.
I have him written down too.
First place schedule, 10th hardest, 11 last year. He can't see downfield. The only reason why I don't want to bet him is there's a chance that he does get benched if he struggles because Dave Canales doesn't want to go down with him.
Yeah. And look, Dustin and I might be slightly biased against Bryce Young.
No. And then number 1 with a bullet. The price is 40-1. Shedeur Sanders is the play. He had 10 interceptions in 8 games last year. I'm not convinced he can make all the throws. The problem is Shedeur Sanders is convinced he can make all the throws. He's relying on 2 rookie wide receivers, a second-year tight end in a brand new system. They're going to be losing, throwing from behind a lot, taking shots. You need him to win the job. Shedeur Sanders has a very strong case to lead the league in picks.
Don't hate it. You can't bet it, though, till you know for sure he's got the job.
You're getting 40-1 because you don't know if he's getting the job.
I mean, that's true. Okay, one other long shot for me. Jackson Dart, 30-1.
Don't hate that either.
15 touchdowns, only 5 picks last year. Fine. Prove it to me again, Jackson Dart, when they're going to tell you not to run the ball as much.
And he's got that gunslinger hubris thing we were talking about. Tarek Skubel's debut at Wrigley Field as a Dodger. How are we betting it? That's next.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back at it on a numbers game. Dustin Swedelson hanging out with Kelley Bydlon. It's VSiN, the sports betting network. This morning has flown freaking by.
Right?
This is crazy.
It's fun, man. It's fun. It's been great having you in, great having Matt in. I don't say it enough, but thank you for filling and thank you to Matt Brown for filling.
You know, it's my full-time job that they tell me where to go and I get a paycheck for it, right?
Still, I appreciate that you, I'm sure you could have just said, so I refuse to do that shit.
Yeah, it's a great way to get fired.
It's a great way to get fired.
But no, I like hanging out with you. Obviously, you know this. I originally was Patrick Maher's sidekick for a very long time. The first time I ever got to host a show was with you, though.
Yep.
Like, as you know,
right.
not the sidekick.
That's right, yeah.
And it's not that Patrick ever treated me like a sidekick. He always treated me like a co-host, but I was always viewed as that. So the first time I got to host was with you, and we had a lot of fun on Sundays. We're still waiting for Ben Wilson to show up for his first shift because it was supposed to be a 3-man show, and he never appeared.
That was the greatest part of that.
It was like, hey, we want you 3 together. Ben, when are you going to be there? And like 4 months.
And then, like, I don't know, somehow Femi got in the mix, too. It was like, do you even remember that? I don't even remember that.
Vaguely.
Like finally, they figured out that Ben was never going to show up, so they decided that maybe Femi should do it once or twice. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
that sounds about right. So I love reuniting with my bearded brother and hanging out here on a numbers game. And I think Gildo is officially out of vacation. I think we've reached that point of the summer.
I think so. Yeah.
I think.
I mean, this is really. I know we've gotten a couple tweets about it. Like, this is what you guys don't see is Gills works every single day once he gets back from now until the end of the Super Bowl. He's here for every holiday. He's here throughout the entire football season.
No. See, people don't understand that. Like, you have to take off now because you disappear from your family's lives, your friends' lives for the next 7, 8, 9 months.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. The guy basically lives in San Francisco, which means he comes here for like 6 months just, to work, to do this.
Yeah, essentially. All right. It's now time. The moment you've all been waiting for. Kelley and I have the honor. You've heard the reads for months here on the network.
That's right.
We have the entries placed inside this trusty hat. It is the Winner's Circle Proxy Grand Prize Drawing. 2 grand prizes are on the line. One, a $1,000 entry to Circa Survivor. Another $1,000 entry into Circa Million. Both winners that we announce, they will get Winner's Circle Proxy service for a full season from their trusted team. Exclusive VSiN Studio tour here in Las Vegas and 1 free month of a VSiN Pro subscription. Without further ado, Kelley Bydlon, do you want to grab the first name who's going to be the winner of the entry into Circa Million?
Let's go. Foster, give me that drum roll. Let's get the excitement rolling. This is, again, like Dustin said, you've been hearing it for months? Us talk about the reads. 1 for millions. Here we go. Winner is Alan Menken.
You got an easy name to read.
Menken.
Oh, maybe not.
Alan Menken? I'm going Alan Menken. Yeah, I'm going Alan Menken.
Alan Menken, you are the first winner on The Price is Right.
I was just going to say, Alan Menken, come on down.
God, I just remember faking sick and watching The Price is Right over and over. Before the internet, those women, they were very important in my life.
That's right. Also, I promise everybody out there that this will be handled all correctly this time around. Maybe the first time we did this, Dustin, I pulled names and then maybe forgot them after the show.
Oh, yeah.
We're holding on to these. Don't worry, Alan. I'm holding on to you, bro.
The hat goes back to the bottom. The winner of the entry into Circa Survivor is Dennis Parker.
Dennis, the Menace Parker. There we go. Yeah, we got easy ones. I've pulled way more difficult names in the past.
You could have gotten Dustin Swedelson.
Kelley Bydlon. Yeah.
All right, congratulations. Right. Alan, what's it?
Alan Menken, Dennis Parker. Winners.
You are the winners. So, hold on, let's go back. Dennis gets Circa Survivor.
Yep.
Alan gets Circa Million.
Give me that pen. Yep.
Preseason football starts this week. Time to book your trip to Vegas. Winner's Circle Proxy is VSiN's preferred proxy service. After your required in-person registration, they handle your weekly submissions so you can make your picks from anywhere. One trip to Vegas. Play all season long. Schedule your appointment now at winnerscircleproxy.com.
Love it.
All right, baseball coming up today. It's the debut of Tarek Skubal with the Los Angeles Dodgers here, Kelley. Looking at this number, it's a bit out of hand. You've got Skubal and the Dodgers laying 219 on the road. The Cubs and Javier Assad plus 178. Total in the game's 9. I have 2 plays. One, I don't think it's crazy for the Cubs to hang here at plus 178.
Sure.
I'm not getting there. My bet is going to be on the Dodgers when I do anticipate it being a high-scoring affair. One, wind is blowing out about 9, almost 10 miles an hour to left center field. That is important. But let's attack Skubal first. We're going under 7.5 Ks. I threw this up on vsin.com/picks last night. It's gone from plus 103 to minus 120. So it's going in my favor right now. It's his first ever start at Wrigley Field, his first ever as a Dodger. You know he's going to be hyped up. He's gone over this number in 6 of 8. But I think some of those numbers are a little bit fugazi here. 12 versus the Royals, they stink. 9 at the Angels, they're 29th in K rate. He had 9 against the A's, 19th in K rate. 8 versus the White Sox, 25th in K rate. He's now taking on a Chicago Cubs team. They don't strike out against lefties. 12th fewest strikeouts against lefties on the season. 9th lowest home strikeout rate. I think he's going to be so pumped up to take on this team and debut as a Dodger that he's going to overthrow. He struggled after getting to 6 versus Baltimore last week. I'm not sure post-surgery against an elite lineup like the Cubbies are throwing out there that he's going to get to 8. I think he's throwing 6 innings. So at that point, you need 1 per inning and 1 inning where he does more than that, right? To get to 8. No, 2 more, should say. 2 more innings where he goes over. I don't think he gets there. I think he may get off to a hot start, but around the 6th inning, he's going to get worn down and slow up. So I like under 7.5.
Okay, days. Like it. I'll just add in some of the guest picks as we go here. Joe Sheehan was on the Cubs side. He didn't want to pass on that big number. I think some of your guys thinking that does match up there.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Dodgers team total here. And this is ultimately why I didn't bet the Cubs, because I'm very scared of Javier Assad. He just doesn't miss bats, 48 strikeouts, 69 2/3 innings. At the Dodgers back in April, 2 1/3, 7 hits, 6 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Wind blowing out, as I mentioned, and Dodger hitters in a small sample size, 8 of 19, 421 average against him. I think they're going to make him pay for nibbling around the corners, and they're going to score 6 runs. So team total over 5.5, it's plus 105.
Okay, like it.
Next one up here, another under strikeout for me is Joe Ryan. So Joe Ryan and the Minnesota Twins are on the road at Kansas City facing the Royals. And I mentioned the Royals are not very good, so there's a chance that he could have a good strikeout performance. But I'm concerned about Joe Ryan as they're a minus 149 road favorite. Randy Dobnak's plus $1.23 at home. 9.5 is the total. But Joe Ryan's been dealing with some arm fatigue. Since that news came out a few starts ago, the strikeouts haven't been there. And against the Royals, the numbers haven't been there. We're going under 5.5 strikeouts because his strikeouts are also down on the road. But in his last 3 starts, 4-3 and 2 strikeouts. Versus Kansas City this year, 4-5 and 3. Against the Royals last year, 2-5 and 4. Under in 6 straight against the Royals at 5.5 Ks. I'm sorry. You combine it with the fatigue, the way they need to manage him, because this is a team that bought at the deadline. I'm going under 5.5 strikeouts at minus $1.30 on Joe Ryan.
All right, Joe Ryan, and you got 3 strikeout props today. I like it.
I do. I'm also going to look at Logan Henderson over 6.5 strikeouts. This is one for me because the Pirates have a really high K rate in baseball. Henderson at home has been really strong. He's off 7 and 9 in his last 2. I thought 6.5 just was a little bit low at plus money. This is one where I'm chasing that plus 114, where I think it's better than 50-50. We can go over. So I'm taking that plus 114 on Logan Henderson there. And then finally, my last 2 plays. Give me the Guardians minus 140 against the Mets. It's up to like minus 152. I don't mind doing that. A big reason for this is if the Mets do have a lead, I don't know how they hold on to it. They traded Weaver. They traded Brazoban. They traded Raley. It's a lot of unfamiliar names in that bullpen right now. And neither team's really good against lefties. Joey Cantillo takes on Sean Manaea. I just think Cantillo, who's solid at home, 3.81 ERA. Cleveland has a few more guys in the lineup I trust to hit against the lefty. DeLauder, good splits against the lefty. J-Ram, always good. Bazana. Hoskins has power, not so much contact, but can still hit homers against lefties. And I think once it gets to the bullpens, Cleveland's bullpen takes over. So give me the Guardians here at whatever price is currently in front of you. And then the last one, Boston minus 121 against the White Sox. 5-game win streak for the Red Sox. Davis Martin might be hitting a wall as a young pitcher throwing deep into the season. 8 earned runs his last 2 combined starts, a 6 ERA in June, 27 hits his last 24 innings, only 16 strikeouts, and 11 walks in 5 starts. Boston tagged him for 5 earned in 4 innings on July 8th. Sandoval is likely pitching for the Red Sox, although no one's listed right now on the market. 3.32 ERA for him in the last 4 starts, 20 strikeouts, 19 innings. He's been pretty solid, so I like the Red Sox at minus 121.
Okay, mentioned that Joe Sheehan was on the Cubs side in that game. He is joining you on the Guardians and then is also playing the Reds money line, minus 130 on the Reds. One golf bet for me, nothing else going on today. Hideki Matsuyama mentioned this yesterday. I am in on him for the Wyndham Championship this week. We'll have full breakdown tomorrow on the show, as well as long shots today. Myself, Matt Brown, Wes Reynolds, the normal crew to preview the last event of the regular season.
Wow, that means it's football season, doesn't it?
It does.
That's usually what that means. When the golf fades away, it's time for the football to be played. We have the Hall of Fame game coming up. By the way, Steve Mackin in a great trends article up at VSiN.com. I encourage everyone to check it out, and I encourage you to stick around because after us, Prop Points. Nick Whalen, Eric Halterman take over. They'll be all over the new VSiN College Football Betting Guide as Ben Stevens joins to break down a few of his plays. Then you have Money Moves at 2 p.m. Eastern, followed by Follow the Money at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.